Hey everyone, Steve Chrysler here. So today I want to talk about kind of a wide variety of things. I'm going to talk about bookkeeping, starting and growing your own bookkeeping business, starting and growing your own tax practice. If you want to do both, if you don't want to do both, you can do one or the other. But I want to go through the FAQs for that. I do have them on the websites, but I'll go into a little more detail on those. And if you're like me, sometimes you forget to look at the FAQs. And then I'll also go over the startup costs that are involved for both of the companies, and also if you wanted to do them together, if you want to do both bookkeeping and tax. So we'll go over that. So anyways, hope you liked my new shirt. It's a Father's Day gift from my son. So I'm wearing that today. All right, so give a little color to the situation instead of my normal boring shirts. Okay, so let's talk about, let's go through the FAQs, okay? And I'll bounce between bookkeeping and tax along the way, and some of them pertain to both. So the question of what is bookkeeping? If you're brand new to all of this and you're thinking about starting a new career path or a side hustle, what is book? And you heard that bookkeeping is a really good one to do, which it is. There's a lot of demand for bookkeepers, and there's always demand for tax preparers. All right, so, but what is bookkeeping? Bookkeeping, I think in the simplest sentence I can put it in, is keeping track of every penny that comes and goes to and from a business, in and out of a business, keeping track of every single penny that comes and goes. It all needs to go into an account with telling the owners, and also for tax purposes, what that is. So if it was for rent or if it was for supplies, that kind of thing, those are called categories, and it's basically putting every penny into a certain category so that when you do, when the owners or managers of the business look at the reports, they can make decisions, good, solid, smart decisions based upon where they're spending their money and where they're making their money. And then also for tax purposes, being able to do the tax return, because when you do the tax return, everything needs to be put into, all these numbers need to be put into a line for the tax return. So it's bookkeeping and tax go hand in hand, and when it comes to a business especially. So if you do one, you can do the other. If you don't like doing tax, I know some people just don't like doing tax. You don't have to do tax. You might just like tax and not doing bookkeeping, or might do both. They do feed each other. So a lot of times a bookkeeping client will become a tax client and the other way around. So it's really nice to be able to do both, but you definitely can make a lot of money and have a very successful business just doing one of those. Okay, so that's kind of what bookkeeping is. What tax is I think we all know what tax is because everybody has to pay taxes, but for like a business, it's taking all these categories of where all your money came from and where it went, putting them into the proper forms, tax forms, and then submitting them to the federal and state so you can maybe pay taxes. All right, so I think everybody knows what taxes are, but being a tax preparer is the person that takes that information from the client, and if it's a business, from the bookkeeping software, and puts it into a tax return, and then that tax return can be submitted. All right. That hacking sound you heard was my dog. So, all right. And he just had 8 teeth pulled a few days ago. So yeah, he's getting old. He's a Chihuahua and he's getting older. And their teeth are notorious to go first. All right. So, but he's doing well. So then the question is, do you need an office? No, you don't. Over the years, I've had offices. I can't even tell you how many different offices I've had. Probably 5 to 7. And what I've always come back to is home office. I at different times thought I needed an outside office to get clients. Not true. And then I also found out the additional clients that I did get by having an outside office didn't pay for the fact of the rent of having the office. I live in a very high cost of living area, so the rent of an office is very expensive. So it just never, and then not having to go to the office, and you may be in a situation where you want to go to an office, you want to have an outside space, that's fine, but you have to take into consideration, the outside, that additional rent that you have to pay, the utilities, office furniture and stuff like that. But I've been back to my home office, which is what this is, for a lot of years now, probably 8 or so. I've just been working on my home office, and I don't ever plan on having an outside office again, because you just don't need it. For outside perceptions, I initially, or back in the day, I thought that customers would, frown upon having a home office. They never did. Even when I was just starting out, I got clients, and I had a crappy 1-bedroom apartment at the time, and I would actually even have them to the apartment, and nobody batted an eye. Nobody cared. There's so many different types of clients out there that you don't have to worry about what someone thinks, because if somebody thinks like that, that's not the client that you want. And there's so many clients to be had. There's such a large pool and population of those types of clients that fit what you want to how you want to run your business. If you want to wear leisure attire like me, I'm in shorts right now, and I never really got spruced up, but I always did really well. And so you can just kind of be yourself, and you can still be successful. If people are wanting to have somebody in a suit and tie or business attire as their bookkeeper or their tax preparer, if that's what you want to do, go for it. But there's a whole mess of people out there that don't care about that kind of stuff. So if you don't want to worry about that, you don't have to worry about that. All right, so outside office, don't need it. You could do it. Maybe you want to get out of the house. And one of my offices was because of that. But that's not the case anymore. And so you don't need an outside office. All right, you just need a little space. This space right here is literally from here. This is it. I've made a ton of money from this desk right here. So anyways, you don't need to get all fancy. Nobody cares about that stuff. All right, so then that I have a bookkeeping course. By now you may know that I have a freelance tax preparer course. So the bookkeeping course is called Bookkeeping Life. The tax prep course is freelance tax preparer. And both of those teach you either how to start and grow a bookkeeping business or how to start and grow a tax prep business. And they have the specifics of each, obviously, in them. But I get the question all the time. We're still in these FAQs. How long it takes to do the course. Well, the actual information involved to get the business up and running and ready for your first client, there's not a lot there. If you don't know what you're doing, it can take a long time. But I give you step-by-step instructions, and so it can all be done in a very short amount of time, 1 to 2 weeks. It's a series of videos that tell you everything that you need to know and do, and you can have it all done within 1 to 2 weeks. It's all self-paced. Because it is videos, and you just go through those as you have time, and you can be done. You can be ready for clients in 1 to 2 weeks. So, anyways, I'll have links below the video where you can check out both of those programs. Okay, so and is there a time? I get asked if there's a time limit when you need to start after you purchase. No, you can buy today and start. a year from now. You can buy today, start in a month from now. So if you do see a sale, it's good to jump on the sale, and you don't have to start it right away. You're in the system, and it'll be there waiting for you for when you're ready. Okay. Do I need to have a college degree or any certificates to get clients? This is a very, very common question. No, you don't. In fact, I think working towards certificates instead of working towards clients I think that's two different things. And I preach the shortest distance between when you take the step to start and you getting your first client. That is the most important thing. That is short. You don't want to be doing different things along the way unless it's focused on getting clients. A certificate is not that. A certificate is something that you can use to potentially get clients later, but it's not really working on getting clients. And I don't recommend that you take time away from getting your first client by working on certificates. You don't need to have a college degree. You don't need to be a CPA. You can do all this stuff and be very successful without degrees, without certificates, without being a CPA, without being an EA. All that stuff you can work on later. Let's say you get your businesses up and running, or business up and running and doing really well, and then when you have a little bit of spare time, you can be working on stuff like that. Those things that mean something to you, but they really don't mean anything as far as getting clients. Now, I'm not going to try to pretend that me being a CPA didn't get me clients. It did, but I spent a lot of time and a lot of years getting my CPA, and if you know my history, my road has been very twisty and turny, but you don't have to do all of that to get clients and have a very striving business. You can have all that without spending the time, the energy, the money on getting these certificates. Like I said, you want to, from when you decide to do this to getting your first client, that is the most important thing, because when you get that first client, you learn so much. You learn, your learning goes up by 10. I could have video after video, and you could be watching all kinds of different instructional things on bookkeeping, debits and credits and taxes, and all of this stuff. But it's when you get your clients and you're actually working on your clients' information that you learn so much faster, because you're learning real life stuff. So that's why I preach from when you decide to do it to getting your first client needs to be as short as possible, because you can get distracted. Things come up in life. You can get distracted along the way. You can get discouraged. So you want to keep that motivation going, and you want it to be a short amount of time. Like ideally, you have a client in 2 weeks from when you start. That's the goal, because like I said, once you get that first client, you see it. You say, wait, I can do this. If I can get one client, if you can get one client, you can get 2 clients, etc. So, and it is a business that naturally grows on itself. So, focus on getting clients, not certificates. And I also have people ask me, does your program have a certificate? No, because it would be meaningless to a potential customer. Even the QuickBooks Pro Advisor program, that certificate, does the general population know what that is or what that even means, and if it has any real value to it? Even if they have heard it, do they know that if it has any real value to it? I think the educational aspect of it is good, but the general population doesn't know what that means. Therefore, why are you wasting your time on it? Because you want to focus on getting clients. Okay, so enough preaching about certificates and all that, but no, you don't need to have a degree. You don't need to have an accounting degree, and you don't have to pursue any of these certificates. You can do that later if you want and you're bored, but you probably won't be. All right. And also, do you need experience? Do you need experience to start? No. because we teach you from ground up. We teach you how to start at the very first type of clients that you should get. Should be very easy clients. I teach in my courses what easy clients are, and how you should be able, how you can select those, how you can steer away from those that are more complicated in the beginning. You have plenty of time to get more complicated, and have to do more research and stuff like that to do a tax return or do some bookkeeping. But in the beginning, you want it to be really, really simple. And in the bookkeeping course, we have a QuickBooks course of all the basics in there that teaches you everything to be up and running and ready for that first bookkeeping client. So the key to that is, and the reason why you don't have to have experience to start, is because we show you exactly what you need to do with those very first easy clients, and how to identify what an easy client is, and how to get them. Okay. So you'll be starting with very, very, very simple clients, and where you don't have to have experience going in. You're going to learn a little bit about the software through the course, and same with the tax. But then they make the software so user friendly these days that if you start smart, start slow, start easy, you'll do just fine, and your education and your experience will grow naturally as time goes on, and you pick up more and more clients, because every client is a little different, and you learn something from every client. Okay. Okay. So the whole deal of not feeling like a salesperson. Do you have to be salesy? Do you have to be good at sales to get clients? The answer is no. I am an introvert. Everybody that knows me knows that. And it takes me a long time to come out of my shell with people. And I've never, if you asked me to do a cold call, I wouldn't do it. I mean, it's not in me. I've never been a salesperson. And the good thing about this profession is one, every business needs bookkeeping. About tax, everybody, businesses and individuals, need a tax preparer. So you have people looking for you. You don't have to be on the search for clients. What I teach in the courses is how to set yourself up with very professional branding. You do effective advertising. They actually come to you. I do discuss ways where you can search them out too, but you don't have to do that. And there's ways to do it where it's not, where you can be an introvert and do it. But like I said, all these things have to be done by businesses and individuals to where they're on the look for you. You don't have to go out looking for them. You don't have to cold call. You don't have to try to talk somebody into doing bookkeeping. You don't have to talk a business into doing bookkeeping and getting their taxes done. You don't have to talk, the same with tax. You don't have to talk them into doing their taxes. They know they have to do it. They hate it. They're looking for somebody like you to take that burden off their shoulders. So that's why it works for introverts too. You're not trying to sell a car to somebody that doesn't need a car. They're coming to you because that's what you offer, and they know that they have to get it done. All right. I actually think that this profession is kind of benefits introverts, because some of the work is your brain has to be rewarding you, whether you're an extrovert or an introvert, in order for you to continue to do whatever it is you're doing. And sometimes the tax return may take 2-4 hours. Not the beginning easy ones; those take minutes. But more complicated ones, it's the same thing with bookkeeping. You can get these projects where it takes hours and hours to do. You don't have to do it in one sitting, but an introvert gets rewarded by their brain has a reward system in it where it actually gets rewarded through sitting and being able to sit and do a project, put together a puzzle, that kind of thing, it gets rewarded during that time. But where an extrovert, it does not get a reward from its brain by doing those kinds of things. So being able to sit and do this kind of work for hours at a time, it's really good for introverts, because our brain is wired to reward us for sitting there doing that kind of thing. So in a lot of ways, I think this profession is really for introverts. But extroverts can do it too. You just might have a little trouble sitting down for so long working on a project. So anyways, or research, that kind of thing. So also being asked if, so there's branding is the first step, whether it's a bookkeeping business or a tax practice. Branding is the most important thing in the beginning, because it's the first thing. And it has to be professional. You can't cut corners on branding. I see it all the time. I see it almost probably every other day. Somebody contacts me and says, hey, I having trouble getting a client. I'm wondering what's going on. I've tried a week. The first thing I'd say is, you gotta, don't give up after 1 week, but also let me see your branding. And because branding is the first step. It's, it's the foundational step. You can't build on any of this without professional branding, because your potential clients see it. They see your business, and then they see another business, and if the other business has professional branding, they're not going to go any further with they're not going to look at you again. So professional branding is extremely important, and that's why I do offer it with both of the courses. We have professional in-house logo designer and professional in-house website designer, RC and Matt. They are excellent designers and produce very professional looking stuff that you feel proud of. You should feel really proud of your logo. And they work with you back and forth on RC will work with you on the logo, work with you back and forth, give you options, ideas, things to look at, and then you can say, I like this one, I like the color of this one, I like the font of this one, etc. Until it evolves into a logo that you're really proud of. And then after the logo process is done, move on to the website. Same thing with the website. You work with Matt on that, and then once that's completed, you have this website. It has your logo on it, and you're really proud of it. You're excited to share that with other people. And then that's when the advertising and marketing, networking comes in. But you can't do any of that other stuff effectively unless you have really professional branding. So you can't cut corners on that, and that's why we offer it with our course. Another question, can you work from home? Yeah, I already addressed that. This is my home. So definitely, and that's what I recommend. Do you need a license? So licensing, okay. In the United States, for bookkeeping, you do not need to have a particular license to do bookkeeping. Other countries do. So you have to, I think the UK requires it, I think Canada requires it, so it's different outside the United States. But here in the United States, to be a bookkeeper, you don't need a license, okay? You don't have to have a certain degree or certificate, or you just have to have a lot of determination and know the path to take. Now, tax is different. And you have to check with your individual state. Each state is different, whether or not you can prepare taxes in that state. So here in California, you have to have a certain license. You have to be licensed to be able to do prepare tax returns. When I moved out here from Illinois many years ago, I think Illinois at the time did not require any type of license, but I believe they do now. So you have to check with your state whether or not you have to have a certain license to do taxes, and it usually looks like the extent of taking a course, filling out a form, paying a small fee, something like that. I'm a CPA, so here in California, there's two ways to go about it that I know of. One is through the California Tax Education Council, CTEC. That's if you're not a CPA, and that would require taking a course, passing a test, and then you get certified. And then, since I was a CPA, I had a different set of red tape I had to go through. But in either case, I have to be licensed CPA. I am a licensed CPA. Not just passed the CPA 20 years ago. I'm licensed in California, which means every 2 years I have to submit my continuing education that I've taken over those 2 years and pay a small fee to renew my license. But that's what allows me to be able to do taxes. So anyways, if you're not in California, you just have to look up your state and how to do taxes and see if there is a license. I imagine there's probably still some states where you don't have to. But I think probably all the states are going in the direction of you need to be a licensed preparer. So that's the difference between bookkeeping and taxes. It's bookkeeping, you don't have to have any kind of license at all to do it. In the United States, for taxes, you may. So check with your state. Back to the logo and the website. Once those are done, you own them. Those are yours. They're not my property. You paid for it, you got it, and it's yours forever. All right. So that's kind of the most common FAQs. The other thing I want to mention is, so there's 2 courses: Bookkeeping Life, so you can learn how to start and grow your own bookkeeping business, and there's the Freelance Tax Preparer course, which is the same thing except regarding taxes, how to start and grow a tax practice. So check out the links below for those. And here's something that's really important. There's payment plans. I'm trying my best to make this affordable to anybody that wants to take it, because if you're serious about this, you can be making money and it'll easily pay for the course. So I have payment plans for both courses to make it, hopefully make it really affordable for you. So with the Bookkeeping Life one, it's broken down over 3 months, and then which I think I'm going to change that coming up, but to make it longer. But the Freelance Tax Preparer one is broken down over 12 months. So makes it really affordable. Hopefully you don't even feel it. Hopefully you're off to the races all within your first month, to where none of that is even an issue at all. And I try to price them in a way that is what happened. Your first client can easily pay for the price of the course, and then you're in the profit zone after that. And I'll get into startup costs here in a second. All right. So just keep that in mind, that there are the payment plans, so that when you think about your startup costs, you can either buy the course outright, my course, outright, either the bookkeeping one or the tax one, or both. And you can spread out the payments over months if you wish. So that, in fact, think about that when it comes to startup costs. Now, what other startup costs are there? With the bookkeeping business, you got to think about hardware and software, right? What are the things that you need to get going? Hardware-wise, you probably already have a computer. That's all you need as far as hardware-wise. A printer, I have one down there. I use it once in a while. But you don't even need that to start, everything's so electronic based now. I do print stuff sometimes just to make it easier. I can have it like laying on the table or on the desk while I'm looking up or something, just to make things easier sometimes. But you don't have to have a printer to start. You probably already have everything you need to start your bookkeeping business without any extra out of pocket, because the software, we teach you in the course how to get QuickBooks Online for accountants for free. You don't have to pay for that. They actually provide it for free. They don't make it clear and easy to find because they don't want everybody doing it, but it is free. So we show you where that's at, and that you can get it for free. So you're getting the QuickBooks software for free. That's all you need to start with the bookkeeping business. Is a computer you already have. It can be a laptop, desktop, doesn't matter. No, you can't do it on a phone. You can't. I mean, if you want to make your life really miserable, try to do bookkeeping on the phone. So you just need a desktop or a laptop. Internet, you probably have that, and the software, which we show you how to get or where to get it. Okay, that's the bookkeeping side of things. Startup costs, just my course. If you're going to take my course, okay. Tax side, on the tax side of things, it's the exact same stuff except the software. The tax, you're going to need tax software in order to prepare the tax returns. Now there's a variety of companies out there that offer professional tax software. I've always used one called Pro Series, and when you're first starting out, they have an entry level where you just pay a small fee at just a couple $100. You get the software, and then for every time you process a return, you pay another fee. So it's called pay per return. So that way, that's a really easy way to get into really professional software. Their software is excellent, and your only time you're going to ever pay something is when you have a client paying you. So you just, it's part of the the cost of doing that tax return. But if a client's going to be paying you $300 and it costs you $50 to pay for the software, it's a good deal. So you just factor that into how you're charging them. And then once you get to a certain level of your client base gets to a certain level, then it makes more sense to buy. They have another option where you can just buy unlimited usage of the software, and then it makes more sense to do it that way because you're doing enough returns to where doing it on a pay per return basis would cost more in the long run. So, and there's other softwares out there. Some of them are more expensive, some of them are less expensive. So the thing about the tax software is just know that it's very inexpensive. Depends on which software you go with. I talk in the course. I talk about Pro Series, and I'm going to have a video in there on how to use it. So I'm going to be making that soon. So these businesses, since you're working from home and you already have the stuff to make it happen, it makes it so easy to get these businesses off the ground. They're probably the easiest, least expensive businesses to start with major reward factors. You can make tons of money doing this stuff, and it comes around all the time. So bookkeeping clients, they need it done every month. Tax clients, they need it done every year. So it's a beautiful thing, and I mean, time goes by so fast. It seems like you're always kind of in tax season because you have tax season, and then you have a little lull during summer, but then there's the extension deadlines. So everybody that filed extensions, you have those in the fall. So you have this huge inflow of work and money coming in. You have a little break, take a nice month or two vacation, enjoy your life, and then boom, extensions kick in, and then you're making another flood of money. And then you have the holidays, so you relax, enjoy yourself during the holidays, and then come January, things pick up again. So it's a nice up and down seasonal thing when it comes to taxes. And then bookkeeping is just a every month making money. All right, these are excellent professions to get into if you're thinking about this kind of stuff. If you have any questions, just shoot me an email. You can send it to steve@bookkeepinglife.com, and I'll respond, and I answer all my emails. And if you're interested in taking my courses, just check out the links below, and I'll show you how to do that and where to do that. And I also have webinars. If you haven't seen those, I'll put links in links below for those as well. All right, so hopefully this clears up a lot of questions that you had or didn't know you had. And you can see that startup costs are next to nothing because you already have everything pretty much. And just need a little guidance, and that's why I'm here. All right, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And again, shoot me any questions you may have. All right, take care. Bye.